When 2 titanium rings with valuable information go missing, our angels are on the case to get them back and figure out who took them. And that's why today in Flick Summary, Charlie's Angels, Full Throttle. This iconic spy flick opens with our girls gearing up for a mission where they need to rescue some dude from some Mongolians, whatever that means. As you may have guessed, they successfully rescue the guy, who only wound up with a few broken ribs, but was able to handle it. However, he mentions one key thing that sets the trajectory of our story. He doesn't have his ring. Not really understanding what he's talking about, the angels dismiss what he's saying and just tell him to explain to his wife what happened to him. Of course, they have to fight all sorts of obstacles and bad guys just to get him to safety. To put a cherry on top, they also get thrown out of a bar. Literally. Yeah, sounds kind of tiring, doesn't it?
Just once I'd like to walk out of a bar.
Anyway, after defeating the whole bunch of obstacles, the Mongolians threw their way the girls get the man, whose name is Ray Carter, safe and sound back home. Sometime later, Bruce Willis, yes, the one and only, is hanging out in a plane while he waits for takeoff. Things go extremely quiet and suspicious, causing Bruce to check out what's going on.
It's quiet. Too quiet.
Unfortunately for him, as soon as he stands up, he gets robbed and killed by an unknown assailant, stealing a ring from his finger. We cut back to the girls, helping Natalie move in with her boyfriend from the first movie, as the angels have a little bit of a dance party, filled with giggles and a good time. Their fun time gets interrupted when they are summoned by Bosley. But would you look at that? That's not Bill Murray, that's a brand new Bosley. Well, apparently that's Bill Murray's adoptive brother, Jimmy Bosley, who is ready to take on his brand new job as Charlie's contact. He still isn't too sure about how to take on his role and has the angels explain it to him.
So what does a Bosley do around here?
He does the most important job of all.
He connects us with Charlie.
Eventually, they get through to Charlie, who in turn communicates them with the director of the FBI as he explains the Angels' brand new mission. Let's backtrack a little first. So, remember how the guy they rescued was a little bit nervous about the ring he lost? Well, it wasn't because of his wife. Oh, and how Bruce Willis got murdered over another ring? Well, those titanium-made rings protect the real identities of those involved in a witness protection program, which of course would put thousands if not millions of people in great danger if the list were to be released. He explains it a little better though.
The identities of these witnesses and their families are protected by a program called HALO. Hidden Alias List Operation.
Alright, easy as that. Apparently some of the civilians involved in that list are killed, and the girls are sent to investigate the crime scene. Natalie, Alex, and Dylan then head on over with their classic disguises to try and have a little more information on the crime scene. Bosley joins them, but let's just say he doesn't find out a great deal of information.
I'm not going nowhere near no dead body.
By performing an excessively quick sort of autopsy, the angels manage to figure that the killer is a surfer dude who, according to their findings, has a scar on his knee. Seeing as we have a surfer in our hands, our next destination naturally is the beach. Not before paying a quick visit to Alex's dad though, who dropped in unannounced at her place. Alex is pretending to be a renowned neurosurgeon as she conceals her job to her dad, lying about Natalie and Dylan's relationship to her, stating that they are also hospital co-workers. Anyway, no big deal there. Off to the beach. Once we make it to the beach, they believe their killer will be. The angels scout the area for their criminal. Natalie pretends to be a surfer, while Alex and Dylan are selling ice cream at their location, trying to spot the bad guy, which they do rather quickly thanks to Dylan's peculiar taste in men.
Yummy.
That's what I thought. Case closed, Nat, move in. Dylan thinks he's hot.
What do you mean?
You always fall for the bad guy.
I mean, we all know what happened in the first film, don't we? As this is happening, Natalie runs into Madison Lee, a former angel who the girls admire greatly. From afar, while Natalie has her fangirl moment, Dylan and Alex discuss who might be the first to leave their dynamic trio, which sends Dylan into an anxious spiral, seeing as she never considered anyone leaving in the first place. Natalie then tries sweet-talking the surfer dude bad guy as the two other girls gather intel, finding out that the guy's name is actually Randy Emmers and will be heading to a motocross event in the coming days. A few days go by and our girls make it to the event, where Dylan, still dressed about the possibility of someone leaving, takes the opportunity of asking Natalie if Pete, her boyfriend, will propose in hopes of figuring out if she plans to leave.
Okay, say someone was to come up to me and say, "Hey Dylan, do you think that Natalie wants to get married?" What?
Thankfully, it appears that that isn't the case at all. Anyway, Natalie gets her motocross gear prepped so she can prepare to race Emmers, but he apparently takes everyone down. And I'm not sure if he just committed a mass homicide in a public event, but you know, whatever.
It's what it is.
Oh, and also one of the guys that was participating in the competition was none other than…
Thin Man.
What is he doing here? The Angels investigate the men that were taken down and find out that it's even more people involved in witness protection. Luckily, a kid named Max Petroni made it out alive and was apparently Emmers' next target. However, much to the girls' surprise, they find a picture of Dylan with a completely different name attached to it, indicating that she herself is also in witness protection.
Holy shit snacks!
With this brand new information, we return to the office where Dylan, whose real name is actually Helen Saz, explains the entirety of her situation to the girls, but not before everyone cracks a joke or two about her name.
So, where does that name come from originally? Is that Australian?
Yeah, real mature. Back to the story. As you know, Dylan falls for a very particular type of guy, but this time it was the worst kind of guy.
Let me guess. You fell for the bad guy.
I fell for the worst guy.
This innocent little relationship was with none other than Seamus O'Grady, the head of the O'Grady Irish mob. You know, your typical first relationship kind of vibe, right? As you may have guessed, poor naive Dylan had no idea of Seamus' line of work. That is until he had the audacity of killing someone right in front of her. Although he threatened her alive if she dared tell anyone, she still had the guts to report him to the police and get him sent to prison. Good girl.
Good girl.
And that's how our sweet, innocent Dylan ended up in witness protection. And in case you were wondering, yes, Seamus is out for her blood. Oh, and also the O'Grady also killed Max Petroni's parents. Why? We're not sure, but that's his reasoning behind witness protection. Our girls come to the conclusion that the O'Gradys are currently in possession of the rings and the Thin Man is somehow involved in this whole ordeal. The girls head on to investigate the Thin Man's origins to try and put together his involvement with the O'Gradys. They find out he spent most of his youth in a convent, but even the nuns that raised him have no idea about his real name and explain that he was always weird about hair. He doesn't keep much contact with the nuns, but does send gift occasionally. In fact, that same morning, Thin Man sent them a present, which happened to be something as simple as a car. Yeah, real simple. The nuns proudly show their brand new vehicle as the Angels realize that the car is actually Emmers' ride. Natalie investigates it from up close and realizes there's a bit of a bird poop on the wheel.
Obvious.
In case you forgot from the first film, Natalie knows everything there is about birds, and when she inspected the poo on the tire with more detail, she figured out it was from the California gull, which led them to the San Pedro harbor. Well, off we go! The girls don't take too long to find the bad guy's exact location and are quick to break into their facilities unnoticed. They pass all sorts of locked, with not-so-discreet explosives as they finally find the ever-valuable titanium rings with the encrypted information. The girls celebrate and pat our girl Dylan on the back.
I'm sure Helen's ass was great, but I just can't imagine life without Dylan Saunders.
However, the movie isn't quite over, so as you can imagine, some obstacles are bound to happen. And what's the name of this obstacle, you may wonder? Well, it's Seamus O'Grady, Dylan's crazy ex-boyfriend.
Did you miss me?
He explains just how eager he was to find her as a huge Matrix-like fighting scene takes place. Not gonna lie, it was kind of cool. He manages to take the rings from the girls while they place a ring of fire to protect themselves from Seamus' crazy claws. Thankfully, they get the rings back and can step away from Seamus for the time being. Just before the angels can get away from him, Seamus promises he will bring them a world of pain. Meanwhile, Alex's boyfriend, Joey Tribiani, tells her father about her real identity, which he mistakenly believes it's actually just prostitution. But whatever. Alex is embarrassed, but excited as she passionately explains that she can help people in a way that makes her feel good.
But I've discovered a whole new way to help people that makes me feel so alive.
Yeah, not helping yourself there. Anyway, seeing as her crazy ex-boyfriend is out to get her, Dylan decides to be the first one to quiet the angels, hoping that that will be the very thing that will keep them from harm's way. The next day, back at the office, the girls are devastated to see that Dylan has left them. Heartbroken, they decide to take down this Seamus guy. Before they do so, the girls and Bosley return the rings to Carter, the guy with the broken ribs from earlier. However, when he does swift movements that he wouldn't be able to regularly do if his ribs were really broken, leads our girls to believe that the same man that sent them on this mission is the actual bad guy.
Damn! So Carter's the bad guy.
Quite a few turns in this flick, huh? In an effort to not let him get away, Natalie and Alex chase after him, where they hack his car's phone line and find out that he's reporting back to someone, meaning that he's not even the main bad guy.
Oh shit, here we go again.
They also find that they need to move fast, as Carter and his boss will be sending the list encrypted within the ring that same night. Phew, how complicated. As this is happening, our broken-hearted Dylan heads to a local bar to drown her sorrows for abruptly leaving the angels. Much to her surprise though, she finds one of the original angels there, who tells her to keep her head up and remember why she was chosen.
Don't forget that Charlie chose you for a reason. Angels are like diamonds. They can't be made, you have to find them.
Well, isn't that sweet? And yes, this is when Dylan decides that it's about time she returns to the angels. Meanwhile, Natalie and Alex are tracking the person who Carter reported back to, landing a location not too long after. Once they find the person they're looking for, Nat and Alex are shocked to see that it's Madison Lee, the angel they run into at the beach not too long ago.
Surprise, Sydney.
As it turns out, Madison Lee has had enough of playing the angel part and wants to seek, well, how should I say it, higher roles?
Madison Lee.
Why? Why be an angel when I can play God?
Nothing higher than God himself, I guess. Dylan makes her come back and a fight between the angels and Madison ensues. Surprisingly, Madison overpowers them and sends them flying off a roof. Madison breaks into the angel's office and contacts Charlie, letting him know that his precious angels are currently unattainable. Before she leaves, she bursts the phone and continues on with her plan of absolute destruction.
I think you're evil!
We cut back to our girls, who are trying to regain their balance as they quickly dust off from their humongous fall. They make their way to the car to try and catch up to Madison, but things don't go as planned.
I think she's trying to kill us.
Yeah, doesn't look too good. Thanks to their phone line hacking skills, the angels are able to figure out that the bad guys are heading over to a mafia-only event over at a cinema. Apparently, Madison is going to sell the rings to every mafia known to man. The angels then engage in a fight with the mafias, Seamus and the Thin Man, who surprisingly switches side when he spots Dylan and joins the angels' fighting force. This doesn't last too long though, as Seamus was quick to kill poor Thin Man.
I miss you.
Well, that's just too bad. They finally take them down and head on over to stop Madison once and for all. Natalie catches up to the Rebel Angel, where they prepare for the final showdown between the two, but not before sharing some video game dialogue, of course.
Enjoy heaven.
Go to hell.
The Angels are able to stop Madison and throw her in a chamber, where she accidentally blows herself up. Well, I guess you can say mission accomplished. That same night, the girls have a little bit of a celebration. While Alex makes her relationship with Joey Tribiani official, Natalie gets a shocking proposal from her boyfriend.
Spike?
Yeah, a puppy.
A puppy?
Yeah.
And Dylan happily watches her friends get everything they deserve in life. And that's all for today. Now let me know in the comments what movies should I do next. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it with your friends. See you next time!